What if things that you thought only lived in your nightmares came to life? Everything she thought didn't exist actually does. Our story opens in courtroom where Dr. Kristen Bouchard, a forensic psychologist, is testifying in a murder trial. The accused, Orson LaRue, brutally murdered 3 families and now claims he was possessed by a demon. Kristen argues that Orson's behavior is rooted in psychopathy, not possession. After her testimony, David Acosta, a Catholic seminarian investigating supernatural claims for the church, invites her to join his team to assess cases like Orson's. While skeptical, Kristen agrees to work with David and Ben Shakir, a tech-savvy contractor who debunks supernatural claims using science. When meet with Orson, he claims that a demon called Roy compelled him to commit murder. He informs Kristen that she is about to meet George. While Kristen attributes this to madness, David suspects it could be possession. That night, Kristen experiences a vivid and horrifying dream. Or is it really a dream? A demon named George seems to emerge from a lamp in her room. Paralyzed with fear, she is unable to move as he mocks her and even severs her fingers with a knife, causing her to awaken in a scream, now with a different understanding of possession. As Kristen tries to understand George, the true personification of evil is revealed. His name is Leland Townsend, and he is not merely a defense consultant. He is a master manipulator who thrives on chaos and corruption. He specifically targets Kristen, delivering subtle but threatening messages to her and her family. The investigation unravels when they find out that Leland has been directing Orson through his wife's email. However, when they attempt to verify this, Leland claims that he has been hacked, conveniently clearing himself of any wrongdoing. The team nearly becomes just a duo when David is unexpectedly assaulted by a stranger while on his way home. The attack is vicious and nearly life-threatening, resulting in significant injuries. During his recovery in the hospital, David undergoes intense hallucinations. He perceives his friends visiting him, but is unable to communicate with them. Soon after, he begins to see figures resembling robed demons, prompting him to scream and causing a nurse to rush in to administer sedation once more. In the meantime, Kristen and Ben resolve to track down David's assailant. Their investigation uncovers a startling revelation. The attacker was contracted by an individual associated with Leland Townsend. This finding indicates that Leland is responsible for much of the turmoil the group has encountered. Ultimately, David is discharged from the hospital, liberated from his hallucinations. As the holiday season approaches, there's a weird vibe lurking beneath all the festivities. A small group of students starts to sing a tune from a viral video called Pudsy's Christmas, and before you know it, they're harmonizing together over and over. The catchy song spreads like wildfire, and soon the whole class is in on it, leading to a shocking moment when all the students stab themselves in the ear. This gets the team to look into things, and Ben finds out that the song has some sneaky audio signals that can trigger violence, but only in kids under 18. Kristen hears her daughters that night singing the song. Worried, she tells them to stop singing it, but it's too late. Her youngest, Laura, almost ruptures her eardrum by copying what the class did. The investigation wraps up when they confront the person who posted the video. They say they got it from someone named Mike, but it turns out it was Leland Townsend who actually gave it to them. When Kristen arrives home later that day, her daughters are engaged with a new VR game. It appears to be enjoyable, immersive, and harmless. At least initially. However, the situation quickly takes a sinister turn. One of the games on the VR headset, called Haunted Girl, features an NPC named Rose 390 who seems off. She encourages the girls to use a Ouija board and even claims that their father, a professional climber currently leading an expedition up Mount Everest, is in heaven. After discovering the girls in a corner chanting "Hail Him," Ben, the tech expert, places a child lock on the headset. The team investigates the game's origins and traces it back to a dubious developer. But that's not the end of it. It becomes clear that Leland Townsend, the resident antagonist, is linked to the game's distribution. Leland's involvement is evident, and Kristen is aware of it. During a tense confrontation, she accuses Leland of targeting her family. His reaction? A chilling, mocking smile. He does not refute her accusation. Instead, he ominously warns her that her daughters are not out of his reach. This moment leaves Kristen feeling uneasy. In the season finale, we are introduced to Emily, who is expecting and frightened that one of her unborn twins might be demonic. She reports unusual movements in her abdomen and insists that she can sense it consuming her from the inside. When David places a rosary on her belly, the entity inside visibly pushes it away. Later, Kristen and David take Emily to see a doctor who conducts an ultrasound. During this examination, they find that she now has only one baby in her womb. The following morning, while Kristen is sending her children off to school, she encounters Orson, the murderer who has been released from prison. She contacts the police to have him removed. Later, he makes a threatening call to her family. In a moment of desperation, she ends up killing him with an ice axe. Shortly after this, Emily goes into premature labor, but the baby is reported to be healthy. The team is uncertain as they observe the infant from the hospital hallway. The season concludes with Kristen dropping a rosary into her hand, leaving a cross mark on her skin. Has she been possessed in some way? Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for future videos.